The last couple of weeks have been absolutely ridiculous for cozy game announcements. And not only are we seeing more cozy games than ever before be announced, we're also seeing more variety than ever to the announcements. So today we're gonna go through 10 brand new cozy games that I cannot wait to get my hands on. First up is MOOMIN Winter's Warmth. Now, if this game looks a little bit familiar, that is because it's by the same team that made Snufkin Melodies of Moomin Valley, which I absolutely loved, and although this is not a direct sequel, it's very much seen as a spiritual one. Now this time you'll get to play as Moomin Troll himself, as he wakes up from his hibernation early, only to find himself completely alone. And this will see him embark on a journey into the unknown, making new friends and helping those in greater need than himself. And much like Snufkin Melodies of Moomin Valley, this is going to be filled with puzzles, story-driven exploration, and beautiful scenery inspired by the Moomin books. Now this is a pretty early announcement and it's going to be released sometime in 2026, and although they haven't said the platforms as of yet, seeing as the other Moomin game came to the Nintendo Switch, I'm pretty certain this one will too. Next up is Discounty. Now even though this is by no means a new game to the channel, after getting my hands on the demo and playing it extensively, I can say this is shaping up to be an absolutely fantastic cozy game. Now, if you haven't heard me talk about Discounty before, this is a game I like to describe as being a Joja Mart sim, as this will see you take over your aunt's small supermarket in the harbour town of Blomkest. And your days will be spent working in the shop, doing your usual shop sim management tasks, including ordering brand new stock, stacking the shelves, working the tills, and even trying to haggle good trade deals with the locals. But this has one thing that makes this a little bit different when it comes to other shop sims, and that is a whole lot of small town drama. And this is the part that really sold me on the game. You see, growing a business empire often comes with a cost. And Discounty really stands out from the other shop sims out there, as when the store closes, you need to go out into the town and live your life. So you can't escape the business decisions you make, or the ones that are made for you. And to make things worse, not everyone in this small town wants to see you succeed either. So not only do you get to see your relationships with the townspeople change as your business grows, but you'll also get to see how the other townspeople get on with one another as well. And this mix of being a shop sim management game, life sim, and drama sim, I cannot wait to get my hands on later this year. Now this has already been confirmed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. We're just waiting on news on if the Switch 2 is going to get its own specific port. Next up is Fate's End. Now when it flashed up on the screen that this was going to be made by the same people who made Spiritfarer, I literally screamed. And even though this looks to be a little bit more action heavy than the likes of Spiritfarer, this looks to be no less emotional, as this is an action adventure that will see you fight the ones you love. And it's filled with puzzles, foul creatures to defeat, and decisions that will ultimately decide your family's fate, as this is a game that will see you fight with both your sword and words. And once again, this will be a narrative-focused game like Spiritfarer, only this time it focuses all on family. And even though they haven't officially announced the platforms yet, Spiritfarer did come to the Nintendo Switch, so we expect this one too as well. Next up, we have Spilled. Now, Spilled first released on the PC earlier this year, but it's been confirmed to be officially coming to the Nintendo Switch. And if you don't know, Spilled is a game all about cleaning up ocean waste. But trust me, it's way more relaxing than it sounds, as all you need to do is drive around, collect the oil and the junk you find in the water, and recycle it. And the more waste you recycle, the more money you get, which you can then spend on upgrades for your ship to tackle bigger oil spills and even take on new biomes with different types of waste. And there's just something so satisfying about the gameplay loop, because as you go around collecting the oil and the trash, you will see the water getting clearer. And as you do, you get to see the beautiful wildlife from underneath. And I love how there's constantly new things being added that just keeps the game feeling new and fresh with every area that you go to. And it's equal parts satisfying, but also tranquil, as the sound effects and the music are just so calming. This is one of those games where you can just switch off or play it while watching your favorite comfort film or TV show, which is fast becoming one of my favorite ways to play cozy games. Next up, we have Cappy Castaway, which is coming to all consoles. This seems to be the year for capybaras, as they just seem to be everywhere in cozy games at the moment, and I love it. This follows a crow and a capybara as they work together to find their way home, after being washed ashore a mysterious island thanks to a massive flood. And even though these are two unlikely friends, they make great partners, as Cappy can push all of the heavy objects, dig and even sniff out items, and Crovy can fly around and get to hard to reach places in order to retrieve objects that they might need to go forwards. But it's with their abilities combined that you need to help them solve puzzles and clear the way to help them on their journey. And all the while, you'll get to meet a whole array of animal friends. Unfortunately, this doesn't have a release date yet, but we do know the devs are planning on bringing this to every console possible. Next up is Woodo. Now, I've spoken about this before when I first spotted this at Gamescom last year, but this time I come with news not only of their brand new trailer, but also the fact that this has been confirmed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is incredibly exciting as this looks to be such a uniquely satisfying puzzle game. As in this, you'll assemble wooden scenes piece by piece, and as each piece is placed, the diorama will begin to fill with color. Now, the puzzle element comes from figuring out the perfect place for each of the items, as although it may start off simple at first, each diorama gets to be more and more intricate as you progress. And the best part to me is the fact that each of the dioramas will tell a story. Now, there's no release date as of yet, but I will definitely be keeping an eye on this game. Next up is Tavern Talk Stories Dreamwalker. Yep, you heard that right. The makers of Tavern Talk are making another Tavern Talk game. Now, I personally think that Tavern Talk was one of the best games to have been released in 2024. And I genuinely think visual novels might be one of my favorite genres of cozy game. So when I saw Tavern Talk Stories Dreamwalker be announced, a game that is set 36 years before the events of Tavern Talk, I lost it. Now, this will see you once again take on the role of Tavern Keep as the owner of the Drowsy Dragon, where it's your job to make the drinks for any of your customers. The only thing is, you have the ability to mix drinks that can alter the fate of your guests. Now, the beauty of these types of games is in its storytelling, as despite the fact that you never leave the comfort of your own tavern, you get to learn all about the world through the stories that each guest brings you. And the developers have said that in this brand new game, you'll be meeting both new and familiar faces as you mix drinks to try and stop dreams from twisting into nightmares. Now, we don't know a whole lot about the game so far, but we do know that not only is it going to feature refined drinks mechanics, but it's also going to have 3 different endings, and a single playthrough will last you around 6 hours. And even though we don't have a release date yet, the developers have confirmed in Discord that this will be coming to the Nintendo Switch alongside PC. Then we have Gecko Gods. Now, the first time I actually saw this game was in an indie direct in 2023. And although we don't have an exact release date, we do know that it's coming to PC and Nintendo Switch sometime later this year. And the reason this looks so interesting is the fact that this is a puzzle adventure platformer where you play as, you guessed it, a gecko. And this makes puzzles a little bit more interesting as you can scale walls and ceilings to solve them. And your task is to wake up the Gecko Gods by exploring this abandoned archipelago and doing whatever challenges they set for you. And this will involve going across ancient ruins, exploring caves, and even diving into the water. And I love the fact that even if you get into a little bit of danger, the solution is to simply hop on a wall and your little gecko is safe. And throughout the Gecko story, you'll explore the remnants of an ancient civilization. Now, one thing that surprised me about not only the trailer, but also the demo, is just how large this game is, as there's actually multiple islands for you to go and explore. All I hope is that we get a release date sometime soon, because I love these sort of games. Next up we have Is This Seat Taken? Now this is one of those games where my explanation will only do so much, as what really sold me on it was the demo. You see, every single one of these puzzles is to do with placing each of the picky characters into their correct seats, with each of them having very specific requirements. Now at the very start, this is pretty simple, as the characters will say things like, I want to be sat next to my friends, and all you have to do is plonk them next to each other and they're happy. But as you progress, things get a little bit more tricky. You see, some of the characters will start demanding that they want to be on a window seat facing forwards and away from everyone else, and it's your job to place multiple characters trying to make each of them happy. But where things get really interesting is where different puzzles are set. You see, at the beginning you're just placing people in cars and limos, which isn't too difficult, but then you move on to the movies, and this is where for me this game truly started to make sense. As some people would request to be close to someone with popcorn so they could steal it. You'll also get characters with giant hats where you can't place anyone behind them because they can't actually see the screen. And then you have the addition of smelly people where you have to place away from literally everyone else, otherwise you make them all unhappy. And every single puzzle does have one perfect solution. And the thing I really like about this is when you go to solve it, it will tell you if someone isn't happy, so you can make sure that you get the perfect score. But overall, this was a lot of fun, but also made you think, but not in a frustrating way. This is truly such a unique puzzle game, and I'm so glad it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Next up, we have Witchbrook. Now, I know I've spoken about this a couple of times on the channel already, but I want to quickly bring it up, as not only is it coming out on the Nintendo Switch, but we recently got news that they're going to be doing a Nintendo Switch 2 version as well. Now, if you've never heard of Witchbrook before, you will definitely want this on your radar, as this is effectively a witch life sim. And in this, you play as a resident witch who has recently moved to the city of Mossport. But this isn't just one of those life sims where you move to a brand new town and have to make friends, as in this, you are a student. So you'll actually need to spend your time attending classes to develop your magical abilities and make sure that you pass your exams. You'll also have to choose what you do outside of school, be it making friends, decorating your home, or even going to the local arcade. And the best part about this for me is the fact that this is in a city instead of a small town. And this city looks to be not only gorgeous, but actually so full of life, which I love. It's also a life sim without farming, which still in 2025 is a hard thing to come by. I just truly hope Witchbrook is worth its very, very long wait. Now, even though we have done 10 games as of right now, I do want to add in a few bonus games. The first one is Grave Seasons, as even though this isn't conventionally cozy, we did get our first ever gameplay trailer, so I do want to share what little footage we've been given, as this is a narrative farming sim with a very dark twist. As one person in this town is actually a supernatural serial killer. Now, the story will start with you escaping jail and starting a brand new life in the town called Ashen Ridge. But right when you start to settle down and start your brand new life as a quiet farmer, things begin to go wrong, as one by one, the villagers begin to get murdered. And it somehow falls to you to try and investigate and figure out who's responsible. And this is a game where relationships truly matter, as you'll need to talk to each of the villagers and carry out quests for them, all in the hopes of gaining their trust to figure out the truth. And not only does the game have romance, you can even romance the killer. Now, considering this is our first ever gameplay trailer, I don't expect to see the game anytime this year, but I just love that there's so many unique farming sims coming out that I had to mention that we got some news. The very last game on the list is Aniimo. Now, I put this last as this hasn't been confirmed for Switch or Switch 2, but has been confirmed for PC, Xbox, and mobile. But the reason I added it as a bonus game is because it's free to play. So it totally depends on how you feel about these sorts of games as to whether you're going to be excited about it. But now you're looking at the trailer, you might see why I had to include it, as this looks absolutely gorgeous. And the best way I think to describe this game is as if Infinity Nikki and Pokemon were merged into one, as this is a creature catching open world ARPG. And not only are the creatures absolutely adorable, there's also dungeons to explore, puzzles to tackle, and real-time battle mechanics. But one thing the trailers haven't touched on yet, and the thing I'm most interested in knowing, is if we can interact with our adorable creatures. As I feel like what so many creature collecting games miss for me is the ability to truly care for them and make them cute homes and see them run around. So this is a game that I'm going to be excited for and keeping on my radar, but also a little bit skeptical of. Free-to-play games have been so hit and miss lately, so fingers crossed this is a good one. That's it for my top pick of cozy game announcements, but if you want to see even more cozy games coming out this year, click this video here.